It'll go the full. There we go.
Oh, it didn't do it.
Oh, hang on.
Well, we're in that one.
All right.
Hey, it's Jacob here, and this is
Cliff.
From
Cliff it.
And as you know, Jacob from Jacob Andre Performance Strategies, and where I'm about to start doing a weekly talk show where I want to talk to a different person each week. And am I in the screen here? We're getting awfully close. It looks funny to be when you're looking at each other on the screen. It looks like you're far enough apart, but when you see each other like this, it's awkwardly close.
You smell all right, considering you've been working all day.
Well, we've been out all morning doing some stuff with primary school kids. So yeah, you're in a singlet, and you're smelling all right too. So.
All right.
So the purpose of this video is, so I want to do a weekly talk show, and Cliff will probably be with me most of the time, and hopefully there'll be a few more people that we get in and do stuff with. But the idea is that every Thursday, it might change, we'll see what works best for us, but every lunchtime probably, or sometime in the early afternoon, we'll jump on and do like what's going to be a sort of fitness talk show. So if you're jumping on and you're seeing this later on, please leave a comment. I'll check back on this post and see if anyone has left any comments and respond to those. And of course, make sure you like the video if you do like it, and share it out with your friends. While you're there, head on over to jacobandre.com and sign up for email updates to get my weekly blogs on human performance and living your life to absolute optimal level. And where can people connect with you, Cliff?
Best way to do it is jump onto cliffit.com.au, cliffit.com.au. Go through the links, hit me up, phone, email, message, whatever's easier. So, Mental Health Week or Men's Health Week. What are we thinking?
Men's Health Week, yeah. So is it mental health or physical health or all of it?
It's a bit of everything. It's just men's health in general.
So we've got Men's Health Week, and we're going to talk today. We're going to start off. Cliff had the idea of talking about recovery. Was that what it was?
Oh, I just wanted to talk about the three different types of fatigue that Jacob and I have talked about at length many a time before.
Yeah.
So basically, I guess we've got our three different types of fatigue. Physical, everyone knows about. Everyone gets physically tired all the time.
Actually, I wrote a blog on that recently, which you can get on my website. I'll put a link in the comments there. Yeah. But and it was actually around the benefits of recovery. And so what happens is when you actually exercise, you deplete all your energy stores, you deplete your cells of all nutrients and stuff like that. And the benefits from exercise don't actually come from the exercise itself. It comes from the recovery afterwards. So your gains actually come from how well you recover from exercise. So you need to do exercise in order to then give yourself the opportunity to have to recover. And it's that recovery that you actually get the improvement. So just say you're sitting at this sort of level here on a graph, and when you exercise, everything becomes a bit depleted. So your muscles, you get micro tears in your muscles, you get fatigue in the nervous system, the cardiovascular system becomes fatigued, so heart and lungs and all the rest of that, and then they need to recover, they need to be replenished. And so one of the ways you do that, one of the most common ways, is through nutrition. And so, of course, putting the right food, eating vegetables and stuff like that, then helps the cells to repair and become more sort of blown up and swelled up through hydration as well. It helps the muscles to repair themselves, but also through sleep and rest. And sleep and rest are probably the two most important. Most people know about nutrition, and yes, it's there, but I'd consider nutrition as actually the third most important behind sleep and rest. So sleep and rest, yes, you do need to have good nutrition, but you first, more importantly, need to actually sleep and sleep well. So
if you want to get the most out of the exercise that you're doing, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not expending the energy during exercise and all you're doing is sleeping, then nutrition gets pretty important. But as soon as you start trying to physically exhaust yourself and really smash your body or work your body or get some results physically, rest absolutely has to trump everything else.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what sport, bodybuilding, whatever you get into, if you're not sleeping, you're not going to progress at all.
Yeah, when I talk about rest, I'm talking about just taking time out in the early afternoon. So we've got, circadian rhythms, which means that we're more alert at certain times of the day and more, sort of tired at certain times of the day. And when I talk...
All day.
Yeah, all day. If you haven't had the right amount of sleep, well, then you're going to be tired all day. And so I actually listened to an interview with Ariana Huffington, who I've been talking about heaps online lately in an interview with Gary Vee on his Facebook page, and she says that the best thing you can do if you don't get a full night's sleep is to have 20 minutes as soon as you can the next day. Rest for 20 minutes. So lay down, shut your eyes. If you're falling asleep, you obviously aren't getting enough sleep. Your rest time should just be to sort of sit down and close your eyes and just rest, zone out. If you're falling asleep in that time, is a very good indicator that you are actually too tired and you're not getting enough sleep. So when I'm talking about rest, I'm talking about actually just taking some time out. So it might be at the top of every hour, you might work for an hour and then spend the last 5 minutes just having some time out. That 5 minutes rest, moving around, walking around, whatever it might be. It might be that you, after lunch, allocate 15 minutes to meditate. It might be just to sit on the couch if you're working from home and just chill out. Not even put the TV on, but just stare at the wall. It might be to go outside and watch the leaves blowing in the wind or the branches or whatever. Watch some ants sort of going about their business. It sounds a little bit crazy, but it's really valuable for your mind, and you'll be so much more productive after that. If you're doing it in the early afternoon once a day, you'll be more productive for the rest of the day by matching it through your circadian rhythms. And if you're doing it at the top or end of every hour for 5 to 10 minutes, then you'll be much more productive for the next hour.
That's right, because a lot of people think, oh, you just got to keep grinding, you just got to hustle through. But what's the point of just grinding through at 30%, 50% when you could just take a bit of time off and come back at 80 to 100%? And
it's hard to do, don't get me wrong. Like, I find it really hard. You know, I'll be saying to myself, all right, I'm going to work from 10 to 11, and then at 10:50 I'm going to take 10 minutes and I'm going to go and stretch or walk around, move around, take a break. And then it gets to, 10 to 11, and all of a sudden, it's time to stop, but you're in the middle of something, or just 5 more minutes. You have to be disciplined with that. You just have to tell yourself, no, I need to stop, I need to get off, go and take a break, because I'll be much more productive. And because what I've found is I say to myself, 5 more minutes, that ends up becoming 15 to 20 minutes. It's 3 to 4 times the amount of time it takes. Whereas if I had just taken that break, I would have come back and got it done in a couple of minutes, and I can move on to the next
I think task. I'm the opposite. I'm just resting and I say, okay, you got to do 5 minutes of work. I just don't do it. I never get to 5 minutes. I'll get my work done in 5 more minutes. 5 minutes. Never happens. So different strokes for different folks. But what about
so about physical rest?
Yeah, but what about, that leads straight on to mental fatigue as well. Just like you were saying, people underestimate. You ever feel foggy, ever feel like your mind's just not coping? It's the same as your body getting tired. You've got to rest the head, And downtime, the reason Jacob's saying, look at the trees, don't turn the telly on, is you just need a bit of time without the input. Just anything where it's just your head being able to just process through what it needs to process without that constant stimulus. You'd be amazed how it improves your everywhere. You might have some problems in your life that you haven't been able to work out. You just go straight ahead from there and just solve everything bit by bit.
Yeah, and there's 4 types of rest that I talk about in my ebook, which is on my website. From fear of fatigue to freedom and fulfillment, 5 strategies to finally live life on your terms. And that's mental rest, and that's the rest we're talking about, where you just zone out. You just take time out, sort of like daydreaming. There's physical rest, which is actual sleep. There's spiritual rest, which I refer to as meditation. And then there is, and I've just lost my train of thought because you walked back in, mental rest, physical rest, spiritual rest, and was it emotional? It'll come to me.
Emotions will come to him eventually. But no, that leads on. I had a bit of a chat this morning with a group about the importance of emotional fatigue, and even realising that it's a factor in our day-to-day life. People don't talk about it. You finish a bit of physical exercise and you stretch out to stop yourself from getting injured. But because your body's fatigued, but when you're emotionally fatigued, what do? What do most people do when they're emotionally fatigued? Nothing. They won't talk about it, they won't do anything to try and heal it. But it's just like with stretching the body, you have to find someone to talk about. Talk about it too. And the reasons for that is, one, it's going to help you. Because what happens if you don't stretch your body after exercise?
Yeah, it just eventually gets tighter and tighter and tighter.
Yeah, you're going to damage your joints, you're going to wreck yourself. Same with your emotional fatigue. I know it sounds really wishy-washy and people won't want to talk about it, but you just have to. And the thing is, I might have an issue, something that's wrecking me, making me feel really emotionally fatigued, which is destroying my fitness goals, destroying my plans, business, whatever. And I might go and talk to Jacob about it and say, hey, this is something that is emotionally fatiguing me. and he might say, hey, I do, I've got that too. I didn't realise anyone else ever had that problem, but now that you're talking to me about your problem, I feel like I can talk to you about mine. So in actually doing something to help yourself, you're still possibly going out and helping others, just by letting them know that they're not the only person in the world that has that kind of issue or that kind of emotional distress. And you know what, the other thing is, everyone talks about it being shame job, feelings, what are they? Because I actually, just for the record, don't have feelings, ever. It's just not a thing. But the thing is, the braver thing to do is to talk about it. Everybody's normal. We all average out at the end of the day.
And I actually think, we're Australians, so there could be people watching this from all over the world, but in Australian culture, like most Western cultures, we don't talk about our feelings a lot, but I think we're doing a much better job. There's a lot of people doing a lot of promotion of just saying that it's okay to talk about your emotions as a man and talking from man to man. And if you have to joke around about it in order to do it, then who cares? At the end of the day, the more, and it might be that you watch something like this and you see two blokes chatting about it, or you might listen to a podcast or watch YouTube videos where people are discussing it, and it's becoming more and more common now to discuss your emotions, which is really cool.
And you just have to look at, I know it sounds extreme, and all of the people watching are thinking, but I'm not suicidal, but I'm not thinking about going on a rampage, I'm not going to go postal, and they think that's so I don't need to talk about emotional fatigue because I'm not suffering from anything. But it's completely not the case at all.
Yeah, and it's not coming back to me these last three things, so you're going to have to download the book for yourself. Physical, spiritual, mental. I'm sure it wasn't emotional, I can't remember. But yeah, alright, we're going to have to wrap this up because these guys are in here to get some work done.
Yeah.
So,
someone's got to do.
Someone's got to do some work. Mental Health Week, Men's Health Week. It's all about mental health anyway. Make sure your mental health is right. What do we discuss? Physical, mental, what else was it?
Emotional and spiritual.
Emotional and spiritual, we kind of touched on those.
And Jacob fatigue, which is what you get when you cannot remember the last point you were always trying to make. Get out there, chat to a mate, chat to anybody, co-worker, anything. If there's anything that's fatiguing you emotionally, just keep in mind it's probably going to actually be wearing you out in more than just one way.
Any questions, leave your comments and questions in the comment section below this video, and we'll come back and check this over the next couple of days. Make sure you head on over to jacobandre.com and sign up for email updates, download that ebook, and you'll be able to find out what that fourth type of rest is.
Check it out.
Where can they find you, Cliff?
Get on to Cliff, I've got a Facebook page, or cliffit.com.au. Jump on and let's see what we can do to help you reach your goals. Thanks, guys.
See ya.